I said, hey yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Mojados, and we back for another video. Hope you guys are doing well. And today we're going to be talking about everything Oasis Network, right? So we're going to cover what is Oasis Network background, funding, collaboration, tokenomics, staking, what's next, and some technical analysis. So you guys don't want to miss it. My name is Mojados. We do research, technical analysis, daily updates on this channel, but more so, guys, you guys can find me at my blog here, links in the bio if you want to follow along during this article. Basically, I just publish reports, guys. I'm a crypto enthusiast, and I just love this stuff. Okay, so as you guys can tell, you guys can come down here, go through these pages, look through many different reports, and I've done many videos like this in the past. Because what I'd like to do is I'd like to learn, guys. I like to learn. We know that Web3 is here to stay. We know a lot of Web2 problems may be solved with Web3, and today Rose is definitely going to be at the front of all of that. And let's jump right in. So, guys, this has always been on my radar, Oasis. I've heard great things about it, but what really drew me in recently was the fact that Oasis Labs partners with Equifax to power on-chain KYC solutions for the Web3 economy. So that's absolutely a behemoth of a partnership, guys, because if you guys don't know who Equifax is, it's one of the 3 credit unions, okay? And you know, like, if you know what Equifax is, then you understand how big of a partnership that is. That is not light at all. I do expect the other 2 credit unions to follow, and maybe even potentially partner with Oasis, right? And so that's going to be interesting. And also, I want to make it clear, Oasis Network is the underlying technology. Oasis Labs is a company that uses Oasis Labs, and then I believe Oasis Foundation is a separate entity that kind of funds and brings awareness to the Oasis network, right? So there's 3 different things, and with that, throughout the article, you're going to see me talk about Oasis Labs, Foundation, and network. So understand the difference. And moving in, what is Oasis Network? Oasis Network is a layer 1 blockchain that aims to lead the industry in powering a privacy-enabled Web3 economy. The goal of the Oasis Network is to bridge the gap between privacy and scalability to decentralized finance. Oasis Network utilizes a private function that keeps smart contracts while being highly scalable and tokenizes data. This will allow for new use cases like private lending, under-collateralized loans, and private automated market makers. This is especially important because it may solve issues like flash loan exploits in DeFi, and that leads to basically hundreds of $millions in hacks. And Oasis Network also uses a paratime layer, which is separated from the consensus layer to make sure the network doesn't slow down from an oversized load. So you guys can see here, paratime layer is definitely a unique feature. And also, I think that the fact that, like, you know, a lot of the smart contracts are private and also being highly scalable is interesting, because right now a lot of the hacks that happen is because the information is public, right? These flash loan exploits, like, those happen all the time. That's kind of why you see a lot of exploits on Ethereum, right? Is because of flash loans. And Oasis Network literally is like a solution to that, right? And if you guys don't know already, I think there's basically a statistic that's been floating that this year alone, there's been $2 billion in hacks from either bridges, smart contract exploits, or hacks of some sort. And so, you know, again, the fact that there is a solution that exists that is not being implemented yet is kind of crazy to me. And I think that Oasis Network is positioned in a great, area, because, we know that it can be used for that purpose. So I think that just the technology alone for what it may offer is amazing. And I think that that is going to continue expanding. So then moving on here to Oasis Network background. Oasis Labs Incorporated is a project based out of San Francisco and was founded by Dawn Songs in 2018. While she is a founder of Oasis Labs, she's also a professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science at the University of California at Berkeley. She's also well known for being the most cited scholar in Computer Security A Minor Award. So basically, she got amazing rewards. You guys, I'm gonna keep going on here. She's basically received massive amount of awards, and we're gonna touch base here. She was also recognized for her contributions to computer security with awards from Guggenheim Fellowship, MIT Technology Review, the Faculty Research Award from IBM, Google, best paper awards from top conferences in computer security and deep learning. And many prestigious technology companies have given her awards. Dawn has a strong background in computer security with many accolades, which gives me strong confidence in the Oasis network putting security first. So it's just as important to understand that the technology is good, but more so who is behind the technology, because sometimes you can have an amazing idea, but the people behind that idea don't have the relevant background. Now, obviously, that's not the only thing that we look at when, we invest is maybe, okay, maybe sometimes the person does have a strong background, but the idea is not really related to their background, or vice versa. But in this instance, we have the idea that, yes, we want to have privacy enabled, but also the person creating that protocol is someone who has computer security at the forefront, getting rewards from multiple different, institutions and organizations, basically giving her the accolades and validation needed to kind of create this protocol that puts security first. And that's kind of the theme here, if you haven't noticed in the first two paragraphs, is that security, and privacy is the number one thing here. And she has the background for that. So it's just, so far so good. So we're going to keep going here and move forward to Oasis Network funding and collaboration here, okay? So Oasis Labs held a private sale in July 2018, raising a total of $45 million, according to Masari.io, and the full report may be found by clicking here. We will be going over we will go over the, I think I have a typo there. We will go over and discuss the tokenomics in the next section. Oasis Labs has prominent investors like A16Z, 1KX, Binance Labs, Dragonfly Capital, Huobi Capital, Pantera, Winklevoss, Electric, Arrington XRP, and so many more. Guys, I'm not going to lie, this panel of investors was extremely stacked. So that tells me maybe the word was spreading and VC's like, hey, yo, you got to invest in this. Or it's super stacked. Like this type of lineup, you don't really see that much. And so to me, that's pretty bullish, right? Because one of a few things is that, yes, the idea is good, and also maybe the people behind it are good as well, right? Because when you see this much venture capital getting behind like a protocol, they don't feel like they're late, or maybe they don't feel like, there's like, or maybe they feel like there's a lot of opportunity to grow in this. And clearly so far they've been right, because as we keep reading, the amount of entities that have invested in Oasis Labs is staggering. It gives me a feeling that they are extremely bullish on the potential of the and the purpose of the entity. Oasis Labs has some cutting edge customers that and their use cases continue to thrive, as well as we will cover two of them. Most recently, Oasis Labs has partnered with Equifax to power on-chain KYC solutions for the Web3 economy, and they've also partnered with Meta AI to assess fairness in its AI models. So as you can see, both partnerships are different but rely on privacy, which is the core of Oasis's mission. Take a look at the case studies and the partners and customers below. So as you can see, I just put up two photos here that, and again, like they'll probably have their own niche of customers. As you guys know, like most blockchains will focus on certain customers, but Oasis has a pretty interesting lineup of different customers. And not only is the partnerships a little different, right, from different sectors, but at the same time they're able to accommodate in the privacy and security side, right? So we can even look at the case studies. You can see here, Meta AI, it says launch of a platform to assess fairness in Meta's products while protecting people's privacy. Again, privacy and security. Looking at Equifax, first of its kind identity and know your customer solutions for Web3 companies, helping facilitate compliance, prevent fraud, and build trust in decentralized finance. Amazing. Then you have Genetica, leveraging Parcel Paradigm's capabilities, enabling tokenization of 30,000, and I might butcher this, genomic profiles. And lastly, BMW Group, a privacy solution, and again, heavy emphasis on privacy, allowing both internal teams and external partners to access data while remaining compliant and protecting user privacy. So as you guys can see, many different sectors, but still comes back to the underlying point of Oasis Network, which is privacy and security for their customers and clients. So now that we understand the purpose of Oasis, we know what they're doing. We understand the CEO behind it. So we know that they have a good like core essentially, let's look at the Rose token, okay? Because this is also the bread and butter of the Oasis network. We want to understand if the tokenomics are good, because as you guys know, sometimes you have an amazing project, amazing team, amazing partnerships, but the tokenomics are shit. And so that the price of the token that the network is tied to is not really, you know, ideal to buy right away. So let's break this down here, okay? Rose is the native token for the Oasis network. Currently, the circulating supply is 5 billion with a maxed cap supply of 10 billion. Tokens, according to CoinGecko, the Rose token is used for staking, delegating, and transaction fees. And during the private sale of Oasis Labs, 23% of the tokens were sold to venture capitalists in 2018. 23.5% is attributed to stakers, 5% is allocated to partners and reserves, 10% is for the foundation endowment, 18.5% is for the ecosystem to, I'm sure, you know, invest into projects, grants, or so on and so forth, and 20% is attributed to the core contributors. The supply is measured over a 10-year schedule, which may be found below alongside the token distribution. The transparency of the Oasis network is commendable, and it shows that they have nothing to hide. Full tokenomics may be found here if you guys want to go dive deep into it. But this is important because as I've researched many projects across the board, sometimes these, you know, foundations or networks or, you know, whoever is running these doesn't or don't share tokenomics. And to me, that kind of breaks my heart, right? Because remember, you want to like be a part of something or invest in something because they're being transparent with you too, right? How can I give you our money or my money per se if you're not being transparent with me as well? How would I know that you're not going to dump on me? And that is really important. And there's a lot of tokens out there that don't share tokenomics. They don't share unlock schedule. They don't have, you know, any type of supply schedule, right? And they don't make any VC like unlocks, like again, like open, right? Which is bullshit. But Oasis Network Foundation, they've made it very clear. They made it very, very open. You can clearly see here where we are right now and how the tokens are going to continue being added to network. The level of transparency is very, very good here. And I'm very, very happy about that personally, because even if I was to buy right now, I would know that, hey, listen, this is the supply schedule. This is how the tokens are going to come out. And this is why, you know, I'm going to go ahead and maybe buy or sell some here, right? So overall, it's a, you know, win-win for the, you know, investors and people who are on the Oasis team, because this level of transparency is very, very good. And so I completely commend this in keeping like an open level of transparency here. So that is that. Moving on to staking. So Rose token holders may contribute to a network by staking. Staking awards vary depending on, you know, how, like, I'm sure it varies, but right now, according to Staking Network or stakingawards.com, it's about 10.5%. So you guys can see that right there, 10.21. And then there's a 13-day lockup period. If you decide to stake, there's a minimum stake of 100 Rose tokens. So, you know, like any staking network, you have to know that as more tokens are released, the rewards will slowly diminish. And another key component of this all is that 54% of Rose holders are staking their tokens, which is a healthy sign in my personal opinion. And as you guys know, they plan on adding on-chain governance. So I'm sure that down the line, there's going to be, you know, an option to add proposals or so on and so forth to the network. So that is that. I'm going to take a quick sip of water here. So again, they have some forward-looking stuff there. You know, staking is going to happen, or I'm sorry, on-chain governance is going to happen. You can see everything live. 54.5% are basically staking, which is an amazing sign. But yeah, then moving on, what's next for Rose, okay, or Oasis Network? This is amazing because they just recently announced a $200 million development fund per Cointelegraph. This fund will help support founders, entrepreneurs who build on the Oasis Network via grants. Oasis Foundation wish to attract minds that wish to build the future of decentralized applications that support DeFi, NFTs, data tokenization, and the metaverse. The foundation received support from several leading blockchain venture funds, including Binance Lab, Hash, Cloud Ventures, Dragonfly, Pantera, and so many more. And the support from firms help build out the development fund, which makes me bullish because the use cases will unlock more potential for the overall ecosystem. So as you guys can see here, you know, they started off with 160 million, and then other like firms were just like, hey, we'll throw more money into this fund. And that to me is insane, because like it shows that, these different, venture capitalist firms want the network to grow as well. Because I believe like at this point, DeFi is going to be the next big thing in crypto, especially for those who are paying attention to regulation, paying attention to the overreach from the government, the lack of clarity that the SEC is pretty much like holding back like this whole entire space. And it just sucks. It really does. And on the back of all the corruption that the government has, we're going to pretty much see DeFi thrive. And I don't think no one's going to be able to stop it. And also on top of that, since this is decentralized networks here like Rose, right? And when I say decentralized, I don't know how decentralized the network for Rose is. I have not delved into that side of it because there's limited resources. But, I just understand that, the network is built around decentralization and it can protect your privacy. So I'm not a developer. I'm going to also tell you that as well. Like part of the research that I do is like, yes, I get an understanding of it. I understand, who's behind it, what's being built and what they're granting for, like what the hell are these protocols doing essentially. But also there's things that are not aware to me, right? Just like with anything else, you're not going to know everything because there's only so much information that's put out there. So I cannot break down how decentralized, the Oasis network actually is. So with that, it's up to you guys. If you guys decide to, go ahead and pull the trigger on Rose, I'm just letting you guys know that this is how it is. And if you decide to buy, then please, by all means, make your own decision. I'm not going to tell you what to do or, give you guys hints per se, right? But let's move on to the technical analysis side. Basically, my specialty is TA. And right now, the token itself is extremely oversold, and I personally believe that it's probably going to move the token itself in value to the upside. However, that doesn't mean it has to happen at this specific moment. And for those who are staying tuned on my channel, like, watching the updates that I provide day in and day out, I kind of go over the market every single day. And right now, I basically hinted that an alt season is likely to occur. And so with that being said, a lot of alts are basically bottomed. As you can see, Rose is sitting in a support zone. And it didn't have an extremely big bull run last cycle. It only did a 20x. But that doesn't mean that it's going to, only do a 20x again, right? It could do way more next time around. And also, I'm sure that there's probably, a lot of VCs probably maybe exiting early, or we don't know, again, what the unlocks look like. And I couldn't find too much about like how long they could or how long the VCs were holding for if they did invest. But 20x is still a lot. It still is a lot, but I definitely feel like the next cycle that comes around, I think that Rose is probably gonna have a nice little run, especially looking at it right now as well. We've pretty much bottomed out here, and this is a very, very strong support area, as you can see. So the question is, if we come back up here, we're gonna have to see how strong the move is. Otherwise, we'll probably have a rejection to come back lower. But still, to me, this green area is a bullish zone, and I would definitely, if I was interested in Rose, I would highly recommend dollar cost averaging in this area. And then, from there, you kind of gotta watch it play out. And so it's definitely gonna be something to watch as it subdivides. But if you guys missed it, I'm pretty bullish overall in the whole market. I think that the whole market is essentially bottoming per se. Maybe not the whole, maybe not every single altcoin. Some alts look good, some alts don't. And for those, again, who have been following me on my Twitter account, link is in the bio. I'm currently suspended though, unfortunately. But I put out a thread about a month ago talking about why alt season is probably going to happen, even though no one's talking about it. And I look at things like total deviation from the high and the low. Also talking about how, ETH BTC dominance is pretty much breaking down here. So you guys can see this is when the last all seasons in place. So if this does break down, I think that Oasis is in a good position here to, have a run. But yeah, not to get too sidetracked. I want to go to a conclusion here. And I just want to say that, I without a doubt believe that the Oasis team is set up to do wonders in the future. Putting privacy first, as we head into a world of DeFi, Oasis Network is positioned to do incredible things. And Oasis Network has attracted high-quality venture capitalists and reeled in high-profile partnerships. This is not your normal naming rights partnership for advertisements. Oasis Network is working with one of 3 credit bureaus. So I want to run that point home because it's not light at all, and it shows that they're doing something right. And they also have a grant open, which, you know, positions more decentralized applications to get built on their network. We are in a world where we are watching constant government overreach, constant propaganda, and DeFi, and a need of DeFi to level the overreach back to a level playing field. So after learning about Oasis Network, I'm extremely bullish on what they will accomplish in the coming years. However, that doesn't mean it's correlated to the value of Rose, because hey, at the end of the day, I said Casper. At the end of the day, Oasis Labs can continue, you know, building out the use case for the Oasis network and the blockchain, but it doesn't necessarily correlate to the value of Rose. And with that, you can make your own decision. I'm personally bullish on Rose token as well, especially at this area that I mentioned down below. We're gonna watch how that plays out, of course, and watch how this video ages in the next years. You know, that's kind of why I do this video as well, because I'd love to see in a year or two to see kind of where my bias was, where I was looking. But you know, I'm very, very bullish to see what, again, the Oasis network does. And if you guys got any value from this video, please like and subscribe if you're not already. Remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm just highlighting the things that I like about it, talked about some of the things that I don't know about. And yeah, I hope it helped you guys maybe make a decision or not. But as always, haro haro haro. Peace.